the session. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Sri Vasudev delivered it to his son,
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
who
Hare
is the
Krishna.
most
Hare
respected
Krishna.
among the self-reliant.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Tad
Krishna.
idam grahyam asa
Hare Krishna.
sutam atmavatam varam.
It is completed.
Sir,
it is
it's not
completed.
complete. Mataji, when you were speaking,
Please,
it was not audible.
Grahaya asa sutam atmavatam varam sarva veda ithasanam saram saram samudrutam sahat Maharajam Parikshitam Praya Translation and purport of Prabhupada. Sri Vasudev delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized. After extracting the cream of all Vedic literature and histories of the universe, Shukdev Goswami, the son of Vasudev, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Men with a poor fund of knowledge only accept the history of the world from the time of Buddha or since 600 BC. And prior to this period, all histories mentioned in the scriptures are calculated by them to be only imaginary stories. That is not a fact. All the stories mentioned in the Puranas and Mahabharatas, etc., are actual histories not only of this planet but also of millions of other planets within the universe. Sometimes the history of the planets beyond this world appears to such men to be unbelievable, but they do not know that different planets are not equal in all the respects, and then that before some of the historical facts derived from what correspond with the experiments of this planet, considering the different situation of different planets and also time and circumstances. There is nothing wonderful in the stories of the Puranas, nor are they imaginary. We should the maxim that one man's food is another man's poison. We should not therefore reject the stories of and histories of which is like West putting this in their literature. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, historical facts selected from the histories of different planets have been depicted. It is therefore accepted by all scriptural authorities as the Mahabharata. The special significance of these histories is that they are all connected of the Lord in a different time and atmosphere. Srila Shukra Goswami is the topmost personality of all the self-realized souls, and he accepted this as subject of studies from his father, Vasudev. Srila Vasudev is the great authority and the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Being so important, he delivered the message first to his great son Srila Shukdev Goswami. It is compared to the cream of milk. Vedic literature is like the milk ocean of knowledge. Cream or butter is the most palatable essence of milk. And so, also in Srimad Bhagavatam, for it and instructive and authentic versions of activities of the Lord and his devotees. There is no gain. However,
There is no gain, however, in accepting the message of Bhagavatam from the unbelievers, atheists, and professional reciters who make a trade of Bhagavatam for the layman. It was delivered to Srila Shukdev Goswami and he had nothing to do with the Bhagavad business. He did not have to maintain family expenses by such trade. Srimad Bhagavatam should therefore be received from the representative of Shukdev, who must be in the renounced order of life without family encumbrance. Milk is undoubtedly very good and nourishing, but when it is touched by the mouth of a snake, it is no longer nourishing. Rather, it becomes a source of death. Similarly, those who are not strictly in the Vaishnava discipline should not make a business of the Bhagavatam and become a cause of spiritual death for so many hearers. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that the purpose of all the Vedas is to know Him, Lord Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna Himself in the form of recorded knowledge. Therefore, it is the cream of all the Vedas and it contains all historical facts at all times in relation with Sri Krishna. It is actually essence of all histories. Now you read.
All the transcendental messages are received properly in the chain of disciplic succession. This disciplic succession is called parampara. Unless therefore Bhagavatam or any other literature are received through the parampara system, the reception of knowledge is not bona fide. As they were delivered the message of to Shukdev Goswami, and from Shukdev Goswami, Srila Goswami received the message. One should therefore receive the message of Bhagavatam from Sri Sutta Goswami or from his representative and not from any irrelevant interpreters. Emperor Parikshit received the information of his death in time and he at once left his kingdom and family and sat down on the bank Ganges fast till death. All great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc. went there due to his imperial position. They offered many suggestions about his immediate duty. As it was settled that he would hear from Shukdev Goswami about the
Hare Krishna was settled that he would hear from Shukdev Goswami about Lord Krishna. Thus, the matter was settled. Sripad Shankaracharya, who preached Mayavad philosophy and stressed the impersonal feature of the Absolute, also recommended that one must take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna, for there is no hope of gain from debating.
indirectly, Sripad Shankaracharya admitted that what he had preached in the towering grammatical interpretation of the Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name of Govinda. This is the recommendation of great transcendentalist Shukdev Goswami had long ago stated the same truth that at the end one must remember Narayan. That is the essence of all spiritual activities. In pursuance of this eternal truth, Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Emperor Parikshit and it was recited by the able the Goswami, and both the speaker and the receiver of the message of Bhagavatam were duly delivered by the same medium. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Ena
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो
Bande
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
Sri
श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं
Guru
साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं
सजीवं साद्वैतं
साद्वैतं
सावधूतं
सावधूतं
परिजनसहितं
परिजनसहितं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
श्रीराधाकृष्ण
श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च
गणललिता
नमो
श्री विशाखं
विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय
विष्णु
भूतले श्रीमते
पृष्ठाय भूतले
भक्तिवेदान्त
श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत
स्वामी
स्वामी नामिने
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सरस्वती देवी
देवे
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेषा
निर्विशेष
शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
दृशतारिणे
कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
पतितानां
कृपा
पावनेभ्यो
सिन्धुभ्येव च
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So material world, nothing is permanent, and Bhagavatam is something which is permanent. Not only is it permanent, it is the essence of all the Vedic literature. We have the comparison here right now. Today, the internet connectivity creating issues, so frequent disconnection of the voice. And Bhagavatam, the message as it is present, and the moment we start to read, it starts. Even material world, because material world is what? Something which has been covered by Maya, and Maya is Shakti of Krishna. So it is created just to make us more eager to realize our mistake and go back home, back to God. And Bhagavad is the cream of all Vedic literature. Reason being, it contains the meaning of Vedanta Sutra, the full purport of Mahabharata, commentary on Brahma-gayatri, everything. In fact, at some places it is said that Lord Krishna himself, in the form of recorded knowledge and to contain all historical facts about Krishna, has appeared as Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a Purana that describes Lord, our relationship with Him, how to realize that relationship. Of the 18,000 verses that we are going to be studying, there's detailed accounts of His names, forms, nature, personality, devotees, activities, and also residences. It is said that regularly reading and hearing Bhagavatam can purify the heart and give transcendental knowledge, leading to spiritual improvement. So this is a sublime literature which surpasses all other Vedic scriptures because of its transcendental qualities. It is actually transcendental to all mundane activities and mundane knowledge. We have heard about spiritual rasa, which is relished in the liberated stage. But that is something which can be experienced in the literature of Srimad Bhagavatam because it is a ripened fruit of all Vedic knowledge. So by submissively hearing this transcendental literature, we can attain the full pleasure of our heart's desire. But we have to be very careful to hear the message from the right source. It has to be received from the right source only. Now, as you all know, the knowledge of Bhagavatam was brought by Narad Muni from spiritual world and given to his disciple Srila Vyasdev. The latter in turn delivered the message to his son Srila Shukdev Goswami. And Srila Shukdev Goswami delivered it to Maharaj Parikshit just 7 days before his death. Now, Srila Shukdev Goswami was a liberated soul from his birth. In fact, he was liberated even in the womb of his mother. And he did not undergo any sort of spiritual training after his birth. Now, practically, what we see is at birth, no one is qualified, neither in mundane nor in spiritual sense. But Shukdev Goswami ji, due to his being a perfectly liberated soul, he did not have to undergo evolutionary process for spiritual realization. And there's a story behind it. Now, if you see Shukadev, Shuk is a Sanskrit word which means parrot. Now, we all know when a ripened fruit is cut by the red beak of the parrot, its sweet flavor is enhanced. So the Vedic fruit, which is mature and ripe in knowledge, is now being spoken through the lips of Sri Sukdev Goswami, who is compared to parrot not for his ability to recite the Bhagavatam exactly as he heard from his father, but for his ability to present this knowledge in a manner that can appeal to all classes of men. This Bhagavatam is carefully presented so that a sincere and serious person can at once enjoy the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge simply by drinking the nectarian juice to the mouth of Shukdev Goswami or his bona fide representatives. If you see Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 25th chapter, there's a verse, 151 number verse. Nigama kalpataro gaitam phalam shukamukadamrata drava samyutam pibata bhagyatam rasam alayam muhu aho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. The translation means that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic literature and it is considered the ripened fruit of the wish fulfilling tree of Vedic knowledge. It has been sweetened by emanating from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami. You who are thoughtful and who relish mellows should always try to taste this ripened fruit. O thoughtful devotees, as long as you are not absorbed in the transcendental bliss, you should continue testing this Srimad Bhagavatam. And when you are fully absorbed in bliss, you should go on testing its mellows forever. So this Bhagavatam should be received in disciplic succession without any breakage. When a ripened fruit comes from the upper part of the tree onto the ground, if it falls, it's destroyed. But when it is handed down from a higher branch to a lower branch by persons on the the fruit does not break. So similarly, when Bhagavatam is received in parampara system or disciplic succession, it remains unbroken. Even in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that disciplic succession or parampara is the way of receiving transcendental knowledge. The knowledge must come through disciplic succession, through authorized persons who know the real purpose of Shastra. In fact, we were discussing how these classes that we have, these recitations that we do, they could be heard even say 40,000, 50,000, 4 lakh years down the line from the YouTube. So we have to speak, we have to discuss as it is. And that is the real knowledge. And that is what we try to emulate. Whatever Srila Prabhupada has written, whatever Srila Prabhupada has said, whatever Guru Maharaj is telling us, we simply recite as it is. And that is the right way to understand transcendental knowledge. All the stories which are mentioned in Purana, Mahabharata, they are actual histories. Maybe not only of this planet Earth, but of millions of other planets within the universe. Our material scientists, they are trying to figure out how many more planets are there where life can sustain. But our Shastras, they have already told there are millions of other planets. So this is a documentation of all those histories. And even within the same planet of different kalpas. And that is why it may not sound that okay, historically, date-wise, it is same, chronologically, it is in order. Because it could be of a different kalpa as well. Now, Vyasdevji, he never had any intention to put any imaginary story. One man's food can be another man's poison. Therefore, we should never think that the Puranas are imaginary. They are actual history. Vyasdevji is a great authority. And the subject matter of Bhagavatam being so important, he delivered the message first to his own great son, Sri Shukdev Goswami. In fact, this Bhagavatam is compared to cream of milk. And Vedic literature is the ocean of milk of knowledge or the milk ocean of knowledge. Now, whenever you have milk, you boil, the cream that comes or the butter, that is the most palatable essence of milk. So similarly, Bhagavatam has been created after churning of all the literatures So it contains the most palatable, instructive, or authentic versions of different activities of Lord and his devotees. Milk is good and nourishing, but when it is touched by the mouth of a snake, it is not nourishing. In fact, it becomes source of death. So if someone is strictly not in the Vaishnava disciplic succession, then they should not make a business of Bhagavatam and become a cause of spiritual death of the hearer. Disciplic succession or parampara is very important. In one of the lectures, Prabhupada was explaining what it means. It means the process of receiving information from a perfect source, such as Krishna, and repeating it exactly. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna recommends this process for gaining knowledge. And that is why spiritual knowledge descends through disciplic succession from Krishna himself. And the representatives, they cannot change anything, add anything, or subtract anything. Otherwise, the succession will be broken and the preaching will have no potential. If we look, the very first time this knowledge was spoken, it was such a critical situation. Parikshit Maharaj had received the information of his death, and he immediately left his kingdom, family, sat down on the bank of Ganges to fast till death. So many sages, great rishis, philosophers, mystics, they were there. They offered many suggestions of what he should do. And it was at that time that it was finally settled that he would hear from Sukadeva Goswami about Lord Krishna. And thus the Bhagavatam was spoken. And that is why this is so important. If at the most critical nature, the background, this is spoken, then there cannot be anything more important than that. Because that is the final truth which each one of us has to face one day or the other. So Goswami ji explains that the ultimate benefit for people is to become free from material entanglement and to develop love of God through devotional service. That is through service to Krishna or his incarnation. So this is why it is so very important. All the cantos, they talk about everything that is to be known is covered here. And if anything is not to be known, then it is not there. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has held Bhagavatam as the spotless authority, Pramanam Amalam amongst the Vedic literature. Rup Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, he declared that hearing Bhagavatam is one of the 5 most potent forms of Bhakti Yoga. And Srila Prabhupada regarded Bhagavatam as a sound representation of Lord Krishna as the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead. So this is very, very important. It is Akhila Shruti Dharam. It is not different from personality of Godhead Lord Krishna. It is Grantha Avatar. And so we have to always take shelter to it and continue to understand it. Krishna is there for us, and all the 10 important subjects, they are being covered in this Bhagavatam. Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshnam, Utti, Manvantara, Ishanukatha, Nirod, Mukti, and Ashraya. And finally, we have to take Ashraya. And the best way to take Ashraya in Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtan. We have to chant with full faith and devotion and complete surrenderance to Krishna. And by this method, we'll get purified and we'll achieve the ultimate objective of our life, which is Krishna Prem. Hare Krishna.